I guess I'm going to start this intro. Ordinary for me. We ain't going to your favorite place. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Freedom Fridays. I am Dr. Nikita Jackson, and I thank you for joining me tonight. I would first invite you to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Freedom Fridays is a channel that I created almost a year ago, just sharing with you my journey as I release the weight of the past that allows me to free up my future. And so, as I've been going on this journey, it just started off as a challenge for my coach um, in a mindset makeover, just telling me to share. And once I realized certain things have been holding me back, um, parts of the journey has been easy. Some of them has been a little more challenging. And but this is me being authentic. So this week I want to talk about the freedom to make connections. So um, making connections are things that we do on a regular basis, and sometimes we tend to isolate ourselves. Um, Maybe when things aren't going well, or just detach ourselves from reality, or just whatever it is. And so for me specifically, one of the lessons that I've learned this past week is that I've allowed myself to isolate from others, and isolation has given me the opportunity to be right, but not to show others that I'm right. And it's given me an opportunity to not face what my realities are. And so when things are not going exactly the way that I planned or the way that I wanted it to go, I had a tendency up until now to isolate. And what that has done for me is um, not allow me to be real with myself and real with others, and let other people see how authentic I am in this journey as I'm freeing up things that have held me back. And so, um, so when I talk about free to make connections, um, we make connections on a daily basis, consistently. Whether it's watching TV, whether it's listening to the radio, whether it's answering your phone, whether it's looking yourself in the mirror, whatever it is, we make connections. And so it's up to us to decide how those connections that we make is going to have an impact on our lives. And so when I talk about making connections, I want to talk about it from the positive aspect, meaning you make connections and you make something good out of each connection that you get, because everything in our life is a journey, and we get an opportunity to just continue to build upon it and grow. So I'll start off with one of the things that happened to me tonight. I went to the store. I just wanted to get out the house. Not that I had been in the house, but I was just feeling a pull, like get out the house, go to the store. And I went to the store that hadn't been in a while and just wanted to go there. Um, Went in the store, and there was some walking through the store just trying to find stuff, because my sister and I asked her, we could find something in any store that we go in. Doesn't matter. Hardware store, store. If it's a store, we're gonna find something to buy. Um, so with that said, as I was checking out, I was at the register, and there was this lady, she was singing this song. And it's a song that I loved. It's an older song for me. Um, it's from Q's Juke Joints. And I was like, that's my song. And she was like, what you know about that song? And so we connected. And I'll say, prior to then, I would hear someone saying something and I'd be talking in my head and not saying anything. But today, for whatever reason, I just felt the reason to just tell her, um, I like that song. And then we start talking about songs, and we just start talking about music. And then we got into, like the journeys in life that I'm taking. And, she was very encouraging. And if you follow my channel, or follow some of the things that I was dealing with, I was going to Italy last year, and I did a lot to prepare to go to Italy, and that didn't work out. And so um, it didn't work out for different reasons, and that wasn't the journey that I was meant to go on. And so because that didn't work out, it didn't mean that I got to be dissatisfied. I just felt like I was being prepared for something greater. And so when I reached out to this lady, or just connected with her just off a song, a very old song, and me and her started talking. And in the midst of us talking, it was just an amazing thing happened, just connecting with her. And we just started talking about the power of God in our lives and just different things. And it felt really amazing just to make that connection with someone and then to trust myself enough to know that hey, you can connect with anybody on any level. It's up to you to decide what you want to make out of that connection. And I'll tell you, in the past, I probably would not have said anything to her, but tonight I did say something to her and made that connection. And it ended up, my spirit wasn't even down, I can tell you that. It just was a point where I just went in there just to go in there. And I don't believe in coincidences like that. And so the lady, she was like, well, can I give you a hug? And I'm like, yeah. So she came from around the corner. She hugged me. I hugged her. We both spoke something positive over each other's lives. And I'll just tell you, um, nothing is by chance. So every connection that you make with someone, make it have meaning. It's up to you to decide what you want that meaning to be. What does it serve you to have a negative meaning off of something that you can bring a positive aspect to? Even if something happened that you don't think was the best thing that happened, don't get so upset and tied to what happened. Find what it is that you really want. And for me, I'll tell you, even with the position that I had in Italy, um, I knew I was settling for different reasons. And when it got so hard to fight for that particular position, at some point, I really got to the heart of what was really going on for me. And for me, it was more so about um, feeling the not feeling connected, but just knowing what my worth was, knowing my worth and not settling. And then also making sure that I knew what it was that I really wanted. And it wasn't about the place more so than it was about the me in it. And so, in the middle of all this stuff that had been going on, I've been connected with so many different people. For instance, the lady that was helping me with my travel, even though, like in the back of my mind, when she was helping me, I knew there were people coming behind me. And because of making the connection that I did and making it a positive connection, I was able to give other people the opportunity to be able to go places and to have a seamless transition. Um, Even so, me connecting with the lady on a personal level, I could have taken it and made it totally negative, but it was up to me to make it positive. Even things that I experienced on a professional level, I recognize it wasn't enough for me to just kind of like get upset with everyone and said they did this to me. Um, I changed it around and realized they didn't do this to me. I did this to me. So meaning, um, people feed off what you give them. So when you're connecting with other people, you want to make sure you give them the best of yourself. If you put out negativity, that's what you're going to get back, negativity. Even when you're putting out positive and you feel like you're getting negative back, trust me when I say you remain positive, you don't let that negative stuff bring you down because in the end, that positive stuff is still going to be a higher vibration than what that negative stuff is. So just make sure you watch your connections. But you're free to make connections. You're free to create the life that you want. You're free to have everything it is that you want and more. You just got to learn how to make meaningful connections that you can grow from. And it's not about just growing yourself. You grow others. And when you we get in the habit, for me, I've gotten in the habit sometimes of being so concerned what everybody else thought of me, and I forgot about who I think I am, whose I think I am, and even the authority that we're given to have over our lives. And so for me, knowing that I'm powerful, knowing that I'm connected, allows me to be able to be more in control of myself. And when more in control of myself, I'm more in control of how I connect with others, um, what I'm presenting to others, who I'm presenting, and how I'm presenting myself to others. And when I walk in the best version of myself and connect with people on the best version of myself, they have no reason other than to just keep adding more positive energy, more positive life in the world. And the isolation that I talked about in the beginning, the isolation is just a trick. Sometimes we need to be by ourselves, but it has to be isolation. Those of us that are introverts like myself, the isolation, is needed sometimes so you can kind of like get a cleansing of it, but make it intentional. Don't just isolate yourself because you're running away from a problem. You isolate yourself because you're attempting to solve a problem and you need some time to think it through. But the real good stuff comes when you connect, because what's the point of having a battery if you don't have anything to put it in? It's other than that, it's just a battery. You always need a charge. And so um, negative connections do bring positive results as well. It's up to you to decide, how do you want to do that? How do you want to use it? And how do you want to fuel it for your best version of you? And it's all about making sure that we put our best, but not just best, put your real version of yourself out, where you're choosing to focus on things that's going to uplift you and bring other people closer to achieving what they want in life, and knowing that it's possible to do. And so, as it relates to myself and my journey, I get to lose 30 pounds and by June the 3rd. So, what that means for me, it means that I get to continue to connect. I get to continue to talk about my journey as I continue to post every week. And I get to be real and authentic. I get to show up for myself. And I get to continue to be the confident, bold, inspiring, worthy leader that I know I am. And so um, join me, continue to do the best version of yourself, and know that everything is possible 100% of the time. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. Thank you for watching. Um, Leave a comment if you would like, just to let me know if this topic resonated with you, if you want to hear more or less or whatever it is. So tune in next week on Friday. Sayonara.